the impact of new functionality, and when and why to use new functionality. Hello?
Yes, hi, good evening, sir. This is Nelly. How are you doing?
Sorry, who is this?
This is Nelly, sir. I am calling from Empower. I would love to speak to the one who handles the electric and gas bill. Would that be you?
No, I don't use electric or gas.
I'm sorry, what do you mean, sir? Are you renting?
Yes, I rent, but I use a hand power generator.
Okay, thank you for that information. I'll take note of this. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Goodbye.
Bye. I've not talked about it.
Okay. Classified information. What sort of investment levels are you looking for?
Small.
How would I go about getting in touch with you?
You have to be an accredited investor. Do you know what that is?
No, sir, I have no idea.
Okay, in the U.S. it's you just have to be, basically have to be rich. Let's see. You have to have an income of at least $200,000 a year for the last 2 years, or assets in excess of $1 million.
What does that cover then?
Then you're a so-called accredited investor, and you can buy offerings from like different institutions and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, they did. The SEC wants to make sure that people aren't pitched on things and then they lose their shirt. You know, they're out of. You know, they can't pay their rent. You know, they want people who are, you know,
financially stable.
Yeah.
I just know it's a startup company. I don't know what it is, and apparently I can't invest. So.
Yeah, you have to be accredited. Unfortunately, there's no way around it because the
Shut down company to me.
once I've determined someone's accredited, then I sign a confidentiality agreement, and I can describe every detail. Obviously, you can even try the software out, but if you're not accredited.
Does this only work for like people who are in the U.S.? Is that the only people you're dealing with? Or?
No, it could be anyone, but
No.
I don't. Even if you're outside of the U.S., you have to be.
Why would you limit yourself?
Do the same rules apply?
I believe the same rules do apply.
Okay.
It's about where the offering takes place, not where the
Investor is from.
not where the investor is from. Yeah.
Is there not some sort of a gray area if one person's in one
I
country?
actually do think there is one gray area, which is I believe employees are allowed to invest without any requirement. Pretty sure. I think that's the only loophole or gray area or whatever. But
what's the minimum level you could like? Could you give me like contract me for an hour a week?
I would rather not.
Coffee boy.
I'd rather not intentionally try to get around the rules. That's
Well, no. Listen.
good way to get in trouble.
We can go on and have like a recorded session.
No. There's the law is very strict about trying to get around it. When if your intent was to just get around the law, you're still breaking that law. You know.
I think it's terrible though, because like maybe I've got a little bit of money, I want to invest it. It's not great of mine, but like.
I mean, that's when you don't go. It's it's accredited investors are. I think it's like more like if you're investing into a private business, but if you're going to somewhere like stock market, you can invest as much as you want.
Exactly, it's sort of like private companies are very risky. And therefore, the only people that should be investing in them are people who have at least $1 million or a significant income. 200,000. Most people meet the first threshold before they meet the second, that they have 200 of income.
Is that after tax or?
No, I think it's before. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot easier to achieve then.
I think so, right? Because if you 200,000 of income, and you usually will have at least 100,000 of expenses, including taxes.
Yeah.
You know, it'll take you 10 years to become a millionaire. So, but you know, it includes a spouse as well. If you include the spouse, I think you have to have 300,000. But the reason is we made a general solicitation. If you make a general solicitation, then it has to be only accredited investors. If you don't make a general solicitation, you can have non-accredited investors. Like you and 5 friends can start a business and put 10 grand in each and be totally, non-accredited. But if you make a general solicitation on Twitter or on some other website or advertisement or something, then it has to be accredited because you're reaching such a big audience, if that makes sense. So.
Does that apply to like buying companies too?
Huh?
Does it apply to buying companies? Like that?
No.
What was that guy's name who bought 4chan?
Yeah, you
what
can.
Was his name?
If you can buy.
So you're telling, does that matter too?
That was like Milo, right?
It's actually a great question. Can you buy a security? So this is for newly issued securities. So for secondary market, like if you wanted to just buy somebody's stock,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's no restriction, which is a little ironic, right? Because like if you can, if you can buy secondary market stock, why, and you don't have to be accredited, why do you have to be accredited by primary market stock? I don't make the rules, I just follow them, so.
It's crazy. Maybe Trump's right with all these regulations.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good thing to, usually if you're raising money from non-accredited investors, they probably need that money, and they're going to be paying investors for sort of small.
Have 15-year-olds invest their large money in your business.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Kickstarter.
My parents are accredited. I wonder if that works.
Well, if they make
So
if they make the investment, then that's their decision. Obviously, that does work. Yeah, that's So we looked into that very carefully. So Kickstarters are not actually investments in companies. Kickstarter is a
Charity?
it's basically a pre-sale of a product.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so like
you're not getting like an investment return.
yeah, you don't get any stock. You basically say for $300 you're gonna get X. Like you'll get a deluxe copy of the game when it comes out. For $50 you'll get a copy of the game when it comes out. For $1,000 you'll get a cameo in the game or whatever. And that's how they raise money, but they're not actually selling any equity or shares. They're just selling a promise of
Smart.
yeah, otherwise it would be an equity offering and would apply all the same rules that I mentioned.
Hi, Martin. Just a few questions. This will only take a second. Since you were on, you paid your bail money, are you allowed to spend anything on materialistic goods, or are you just, like, I understand that you haven't upgraded. I know you have the ability to buy a $30 million house, but you're just not doing it. If you wanted to, could you buy say a Lamborghini Aventador?
Sure.
But then, do you have any interest in that in the future, in splurging on yourself and just rewarding yourself for your?
I've never done it once in my life. I'm not about to start now. I don't need shiny to flex and floss. I do that all myself. I walk in a room, I'm shining. Just light hits me like I'm a superstar. I don't need a Lamborghini or I'm a born star, man.
I completely understand that, but as far as just the finer things in life, I feel like a guy like you, and as you said, you do shine in some room.
You know what the finer things in life are? A Bach minuet and the sun setting on Beach Miami. Those are the finer things of life, and all those things are free. No, man, you'd be surprised, man. I mean, these girls, they say they're about the money, but what women really want is a man who will love them unconditionally, and not and not be fake to them and lie to them, and I don't looks fade. You can't be beautiful your whole life. At some point, you got to have some substance. And unfortunately for me, I haven't been beautiful at any point in my life. So I've always had to have some substance. And
you're absolutely right. No, you're one of the handsome men in New York City. But what I'm saying is, just for the simplicity of just the love of the finer things in life, you don't think you would enjoy hopping in a Lamborghini and just?
I was entertaining some young young ladies at my house the other day, and we were drinking, and we ran out of. We had one bottle of like $20 wine, and we had one bottle of $2,000 wine, and we were like, we poured them in different glasses. None of us could tell the difference, you know. So I think the idea that there are finer things in life is really a facade. You know, it's really a mirage. There's not really, you know, it's all kind of nonsense. You know, we ran out of cheap wine.
You're absolutely right, but the sense of greed that people claim that you're experiencing sense of greed, that in actuality you're just succeeding at a field. I have that same sense of greed, and I've fallen in love with materialistic goods, even though I haven't achieved the wealth they seek.
You know, everyone has a phase. I mean, I'm not saying that I, at one point, wasn't interested in those things. Of course I was. And if you need a muse, if you need a driver that will motivate you to go succeed and, you know, excel, you know, and for you, that's, you know, being able to shine better than your neighbor and your friends, then God bless you. You know, everyone needs a muse, because the spirit of competition may not necessarily be enough. And you want that Hamptons house, and you want that, you know, car collection, 20 exotic cars underneath your compounds and your houses. But, you know, eventually at some point you'll kind of come to grips with the fact that a car is just a car, and you have to obey the speed limit, and you have as many houses as you want, but you can only sleep in one at a time. And, you know, the more mortgages and houses and cars you have to deal with, it's some more work for you. And, you know, it's, you know, simple life is easier and better. Wait, I got it.
Yeah, the only reason I come at you asking about if you're ever going to explore is because I know you're, like, I'm watching your videos every day, and I'm a business major at Westchester University, which definitely is not the ideal school. But,
there's no ideal. Ideal school is the one where you learn something, and you learn about not just facts, but you learn how to learn, and you learn, it's what you do outside of school. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter where you go to school. I'll give you an example. In hedge funds, there's some similar concept called pedigree. It's not just about school. It's what hedge fund did you work at. And if you worked at a top hedge fund, you might be able to start a top hedge fund or something like that. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a list of the world's 3 biggest hedge funds. Bridgewater, Berkshire Hathaway, and Citadel. Bridgewater guy started at a company called Dominic and Dominic that nobody's ever heard of. Berkshire Hathaway, the guy started, he didn't have a job before he started his company. Citadel, same thing. The guy started his job out of his dorm room. And if you look at the list of the very, very top hedge funds, it isn't clear that where you came from really makes a difference. It's kind of more about, you know, what's inside your head and how well-grounded you are. And I think that's, you know, that's what you're supposed to learn in school. If they teach you how to rest on your laurels for some name, you know, you're probably not going to be successful at all. So don't feel ashamed about where you go to school.
Absolutely. It feels good hearing you say that. I'm not going to lie to you. Me and you are very the same as far as, I mean, I know you simply started from the bottom, and the rap game actually portrays that. But myself, I'm like upper middle class, and I want a friend to like, drive Bentley. So the ideal thing is working for their fathers, and I know that you come from you sort of did it all on your own. So I have the opportunity to have internships with front-end advisors who are incredibly successful. I've been exposed to materialistic lifestyles as well, so that's appreciative. I was brainwashed thinking that that's the goal.
It happens.
But yeah, that's the reason I asked you just about if you're going to ever explore yourself is just because, I don't know, I'm just calling out to that. You're doing, I just thought that you would, just for the fun of it, just out of boredom, like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the pursuit of knowledge is the most edifying, satisfying thing in life, in my opinion. And I think if someone told me you
I can tell that because I see you're, sorry for interrupting you, I see you have the opportunity to just go out and have fun every day and do whatever you want. I mean, but you're like giving off finance lessons, and you're actually you have 2 sides of you that you can easily just flick on and off, and that's absolutely envy that.
Yeah, I try not to have fun. As crazy as that sounds, I'm kind of anti-hedonist. I think self-indulgence and hedonism is the enemy, and I prefer a life of asceticism, cold hard pain, where I better myself through difficult but worthwhile circumstances. They say a life is best lived if it's hard fought, and if you fight hard for like a year or two and you make a lot of money and then you stop living your life and you just try to quote unquote enjoy yourself, I don't know. I think it's a bad way to go about things. Anyway, good luck with everything, man. Enough pep talks.